All right, everybody, I'm Logan Alec. I'm a CPA, and this is my update for Monday, March 8th. The House will vote later today to consider the Senate's version of the relief package, leading to a likely up or down vote in the next few days, which would be the last step before sending the bill to the White House, assuming the House has no changes, of course. Majority Leader Steny Hoyer had previously indicated that the final vote in the House would take place on Tuesday, but Jake Sherman reported this morning, early afternoon Washington time, that may be pushed back to Wednesday, depending on what the House does today and tomorrow. That's just something to watch out for, something to be aware of. Don't panic if they haven't passed the bill by tomorrow. I'm hoping it should be done by Wednesday at the latest. At least that's the word on the street right now. The House already passed a very similar bill. So in my view, the most plausible roadblock here would be the progressives pulling their support on the Senate bill based on the changes that were made in the Senate, including the loss of the $15 hour minimum wage, the cut to the weekly unemployment benefits, and the more targeted stimulus payments, all changes that were approved in the last days before the Senate passed the reconciliation package. In response to that, the Congressional Progressive Caucus released a statement over the weekend. I'll read out the most relevant section. Here it is. Importantly, despite the fact that we believe any weakening of the House provisions were bad policy and bad politics, the reality is that the final amendments are relatively minor concessions. The American Rescue Plan has retained its core, bold, progressive elements originally proposed by President Joe Biden and passed in the House relief package. Obviously, progressives are disappointed in the things that were changed at the last minute. They would rather support the bill as it was voted on in the House, but this doesn't appear to be something they're going to delay or kill the bill over, thankfully. And with the Congressional Progressive Caucus coming out in favor of the Senate's package, at this point it would surprise me if any prominent House progressives vote against the bill today or tomorrow. The statement does go on to say, "We remain extremely disappointed that the minimum wage bill is not concluded. The minimum wage remains a central policy, and we must deliver on this issue. We call on the president to lay out his plan in the coming days for providing a desperately needed raise for 32 million Americans." So the minimum wage issue isn't going away anytime soon. This is still something progressives want to lobby Biden over. But after the Senate voted down Bernie Sanders' amendment 42-58, it became pretty clear that a $15 an hour minimum wage is too ambitious a goal with such a narrow majority in the Senate. And my guess is that progressives see the writing on the wall. They know there's nothing they can do, frankly, to get the minimum wage back into this bill, so they'll accept the package as is and fight that battle another day. Now, I don't want to say that's a foregone conclusion. As I mentioned yesterday, a few progressive congresspeople had already retweeted Representative Bonnie Watson Coleman's criticism of the Senate's changes to the package, and she went as far as saying that she questions whether she can support this bill. But ultimately, I don't think they'll put the entire American Rescue Plan, this entire stimulus package, at risk just to push for policies that have no chance of passing in the current Senate. All right, that's all today on the stimulus. There should be more information coming out tomorrow and Wednesday, of course. But as I said in yesterday's update, I think the relief package will make it through the House without any drama, or at least without the kind of last-minute drama and negotiation we saw in the Senate. I just have one last story to cover today before I wrap this up. The CDC released its first set of guidelines for fully vaccinated individuals. And with so many vaccines going out now, those guidelines are going to apply to more and more people every week. So just to define terms here, fully vaccinated means you've waited at least 2 weeks after your last dose, whether that was your one dose of the single-dose Johnson & Johnson vaccine or the second dose of the Moderna or the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine. And even though you'll still have to take some precautions, there's a lot more the CDC is saying you can do comfortably once the vaccine takes effect. For example, if you're exposed to the virus or potentially exposed to the virus, CDC says you don't need to quarantine or get a test unless you start experiencing symptoms. They also approved interactions without masks or physical distancing as long as you're only seeing other people who are either also fully vaccinated or who are at a low risk of developing a severe case of COVID-19. Again, these guidelines don't change the precautions you should take in public or at a large gathering, and you'll still need to be extremely careful if you're seeing someone who's in an at-risk group, but these new guidelines will make a big difference for anyone who has spent most of the past year in quarantine, particularly older individuals, people with conditions that can potentially make COVID-19 a more serious illness for them. All right, everybody, that's all I have for you today. The House will be making progress on the relief package today, tomorrow, possibly Wednesday. And Biden said earlier today that he will sign the bill as soon as he can get it. It's taken the Democrats a while to get to this point. There were some days when it looked like moderate Democrats like Joe Manchin, Kirsten Sinema, or someone else might push for major changes or even put the whole bill in jeopardy. But even though the bill looks slightly different now than when it passed the House originally, they were still able to get most of the key provisions through the Senate, including stimulus checks. And in my view, this means the main obstacles are behind us. As always, I'll be here all week to walk you through those last steps and keep you updated with any changes. My first video tomorrow will be telling you about a particular personal loan product that I recently took advantage of. It's the Citi Flex Loan. This video is not sponsored by Citi at all. They don't even know I'm doing this. But I just want to share my thoughts on my experience with that. So I will see you in that video tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern, and then of course later in the day with my daily political/stimulus update. I want to thank you for watching all the way to the end of this video, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.